Hello everyone, I'm Joël McLean and I'd like to thank you for joining me for this moment to inspire. Today I would like to talk about setting goals. It reminds me of a story that I once heard about a teacher many years ago that was making about $15,000 a year. Now this teacher aspired to write books and had set himself that goal. I'm going to write a book one day. So he set off and he started writing the draft for his first book, submitted it to a publisher. A few weeks later got a letter back saying that it wasn't any good. He did it a second time, a third time, different publishers, but he was always getting the same answer back. It just wasn't good enough to cut it. So one day he wrote a draft of his latest idea, read it over and thought to himself, you know what, it's probably not good enough to make it, and threw it in the garbage. Now his wife, seeing what he had done, came up behind him and said, hey, how about I take a look at it? She read the book and thought it was fantastic and advised him to submit it. And so he did. A few weeks later, received a letter from that publisher, and within that letter was a check for $400,000. Now, of course, he thought it was a mistake. So he contacted the publisher and said, I think you made a mistake and it should be maybe a check for $400. Sure enough, the publisher confirmed that it was indeed the right amount, and it was in advance for the publishing of his book in the amount of $400,000. Now you might recognize the title of that book. It was Carrie. And the author? Stephen King. That's right. So setting goals is very, very, very important. And when you are setting them, you have to ask yourself, what do I want to achieve within the next 6 months, 12 months, within the next week? Be specific. Is it something in regards to financial, emotional, physical, spiritual, or even professionally? You really have to think deep about this one. Once you have those goals set, I highly suggest that you write them down in the book. You can open a Microsoft Word file, a Google file. Just make sure that you write those goals down. Once they're written down, reflect upon them and come up with a few actions that you know you'll be able to do within a certain time frame, and that will bring you even closer to the goals that you have set yourself. If you reach a roadblock, well, it's important, of course, to take the time to stop and reflect on the actions that I've been taking so far. And you have to ask yourself the question, well, what is preventing me from moving forward? Just make sure you stop, take the time to reflect, and always come back on what has been done, where you were at, where you are now, and where you would like to be. I'm Joël McLean, and thank you for joining me for this moment to inspire.